The morning sun filtered through the modest windows of a middle-class home in Reading, where a young girl named Catherine Elizabeth Middleton was quietly learning lessons that would one day shape her into one of the most beloved members of the British royal family. Unlike the fairy tale stories often told about future princesses, Catherine's journey began not in a palace, but in an ordinary family home where values of hard work, kindness, and humility were woven into the fabric of daily life. Michael and Carol Middleton had built their lives on simple principles. They believed in earning what they had through honest work, treating others with respect, regardless of their social standing, and raising their children to understand that privilege was not an entitlement, but a responsibility. These values would prove to be the foundation upon which Catherine would build her future role as a working royal, though at the time, such a destiny seemed impossibly distant. Catherine's childhood was filled with ordinary moments that would later seem extraordinary in their simplicity. She helped her mother with household chores without being asked, shared her toys willingly with her younger siblings Pippa and James, and showed an early inclination to put others before herself. When the family gathered for dinner each evening, Catherine would often wait until everyone else had been served before filling her own plate, a small gesture that spoke volumes about the character being formed within her. The Middleton family business, Party Pieces, started from humble beginnings in their kitchen. Catherine watched her parents work tirelessly to build something from nothing, seeing firsthand how success came through dedication rather than luck. She observed how her mother treated every customer with equal respect, whether they were ordering supplies for a small birthday party or a grand celebration. These early observations taught Catherine that true leadership meant serving others, not being served by them. At school, Catherine's teachers noticed something special about her approach to friendships and learning. She was never the student who demanded attention or sought to be the center of every activity. Instead, she was the one who quietly helped struggling classmates with their homework, who remembered to include the shy new student in group activities, and who volunteered for tasks that others might consider beneath them. Her genuine interest in others, combined with her natural ability to make people feel valued, created lasting impressions on everyone she met. During her teenage years, while many of her peers were focused on social status and material possessions, Catherine remained grounded in the values her parents had instilled. She worked part-time jobs during school holidays, not because her family needed the money, but because her parents believed in the importance of understanding the value of work. Whether she was serving customers at a local shop or helping with administrative tasks at her mother's business, Catherine approached every job with the same level of commitment and respect for others. Her friends from this period would later recall how Catherine never made anyone feel inferior, regardless of their family's financial situation. When classmates couldn't afford certain activities or items, Catherine would find ways to include them without drawing attention to their circumstances. She might organize group activities that didn't require spending money, or quietly arrange for extra materials to be available when needed. These actions weren't calculated or performed for recognition. They were simply natural expressions of her caring nature. The transition to university at St. Andrews marked a significant change in Catherine's life, but her fundamental character remained unchanged. Despite being surrounded by students from some of Britain's most privileged families, she maintained her down-to-earth approach to relationships and learning. Her flatmates were struck by how she insisted on doing her fair share of cleaning and cooking, how she remembered everyone's birthdays and preferences, and how she created an atmosphere of warmth and inclusion in their shared living space. It was during these university years that Catherine first encountered Prince William, though their initial interactions were far from the romantic fairy tale often portrayed in media accounts. Catherine treated William exactly as she treated everyone else, with kindness and respect, but without the deference or special attention that he had grown accustomed to receiving. This natural approach intrigued William, who had become wary of people who altered their behavior in his presence. Catherine's response to learning about William's royal status revealed much about her character. Rather than being overwhelmed by excitement or intimidated by the implications, she simply continued being herself. She didn't suddenly change her behavior, her speech patterns, or her circle of friends. If anything, she became even more conscious of treating William as normally as possible, understanding instinctively that what he valued most was genuine human connection rather than royal protocol. Their friendship developed slowly and naturally, built on shared interests, mutual respect, and Catherine's unwavering authenticity. She laughed at his jokes not because he was a prince, but because she genuinely found them funny. She challenged his opinions in class discussions not out of disrespect, but because she had been raised to think independently and express her views thoughtfully. This intellectual honesty and emotional maturity created a foundation for their relationship that would prove strong enough to weather the intense pressures that lay ahead. As their friendship deepened, Catherine began to understand the weight of William's future responsibilities and the unique challenges he faced. Rather than being daunted by these realizations, she found herself naturally stepping into a supportive role. She would listen thoughtfully when he needed to discuss the pressures of royal life, offer gentle encouragement during difficult periods, and provide the kind of normal, grounded perspective that had become increasingly rare in his world. Catherine's family background proved to be an unexpected asset in this developing relationship. The Middletons' emphasis on hard work, personal responsibility, and treating others with respect aligned perfectly with the values that William had been taught were essential for effective royal service. Her parents' successful business demonstrated that the family understood commitment and perseverance, while their warm, inclusive approach to relationships showed that they valued people for who they were rather than what they possessed. The media attention that began to surround Catherine as her relationship with William became more serious provided the first real test of her character under pressure. Photographers followed her to work, reporters called her friends and family members, and every aspect of her life was suddenly subject to public scrutiny. Many people in her situation might have been overwhelmed, angered, or tempted to capitalize on the attention. Catherine's response was characteristically measured and dignified. She continued going to work each day, fulfilling her responsibilities without complaint or drama. When photographers gathered outside her apartment, she would acknowledge them politely but briefly, neither seeking additional attention nor appearing resentful of their presence. Her family followed her lead, declining most interview requests and maintaining their privacy with grace rather than hostility. This consistent, mature response to media pressure impressed even seasoned royal watchers, who had seen many relationships crumble under similar scrutiny. Catherine's approach to handling public attention revealed important aspects of her personality that would prove crucial in her future role. She understood instinctively that seeking media attention for its own sake would be counterproductive and potentially harmful to William's position. At the same time, she recognized that complete avoidance of public engagement would be impractical and might appear aloof or ungrateful. Her solution was to maintain her normal routine while being consistently polite and respectful in any necessary interactions with media representatives. The development of Catherine and William's relationship occurred against the backdrop of significant changes within the royal family itself. The aftermath of Princess Diana's death had prompted serious reflection about the monarchy's relationship with the public and the media. There was growing recognition that future royal family members would need to be able to connect authentically with people from all walks of life, while maintaining the dignity and service orientation that the institution required. Catherine's natural ability to relate to people across social and economic boundaries, combined with her genuine interest in others' well-being, suggested that she possessed many of the qualities that would be essential for effective royal service. Her volunteer work during and after university demonstrated a commitment to helping others that went beyond mere social obligation. Whether she was working with children, supporting charitable fundraising efforts, or simply helping friends and neighbors with various challenges, Catherine approached service with enthusiasm and humility. Her relationship with William's friends and extended social circle provided another window into her character. Rather than trying to impress or compete with others for attention, Catherine focused on being genuinely helpful and supportive. She remembered details about people's lives and interests, offered assistance when she saw needs, and created an atmosphere of warmth and inclusion wherever she went. These qualities earned her lasting friendships and respect from people who had initially been skeptical about her motivations. The gradual integration of Catherine into royal circles required careful navigation of complex social dynamics and unwritten rules. Her approach was characteristically thoughtful and respectful. She observed carefully, asked appropriate questions when uncertain, and never presumed upon relationships or positions that hadn't been clearly established. This careful balance between confidence and humility impressed senior royal family members and staff, who had observed many people struggle with similar transitions. Catherine's educational background and intellectual curiosity proved valuable assets as she began to understand the complexities of royal duties and constitutional responsibilities. She approached learning about royal history, protocol, and contemporary challenges with the same thoroughness and respect that she had brought to her university studies. Her questions were intelligent and practical, focused on understanding how she might contribute effectively, rather than on personal privileges or benefits. The support system that Catherine built during this transitional period reflected her values and priorities. Rather than surrounding herself with people who might flatter her or seek personal advantage from the association, she maintained relationships with friends and family members who would provide honest feedback and emotional grounding. This network of genuine relationships would prove crucial as she faced the increasing pressures and responsibilities that came with her evolving role. As Catherine's relationship with William became more serious and permanent, observers began to notice how she was unconsciously preparing herself for future responsibilities. She paid close attention to how senior royal family members conducted themselves in public, not to copy their mannerisms, but to understand the principles behind effective royal engagement. She studied the history and mission of various royal charities and institutions, developing informed opinions about causes that resonated with her personal values and experiences. Catherine's natural inclination toward service found expression in increasingly sophisticated ways as she gained confidence and experience. Her involvement with various charitable activities demonstrated not just willingness to help, but also strategic thinking about how to maximize positive impact. She began to understand how royal patronage could bring attention and resources to worthy causes, and how personal involvement could inspire others to contribute their time and energy to important work. The foundation of Catherine's character, built during her childhood and strengthened through her young adult experiences, was preparing her for challenges and opportunities that few people ever face. Her parents' emphasis on treating everyone with equal respect, her natural empathy and interest in others' well-being, and her mature approach to handling pressure and responsibility were combining to create someone uniquely suited for royal service. The young woman who had once quietly helped classmates and waited until others were served before filling her own plate was developing into someone who could represent an ancient institution while remaining authentically connected to contemporary life and concerns. The morning of November 16, 2010, brought with it an announcement that would change Catherine Middleton's life forever. Yet her response to becoming engaged to the future King of England revealed the same quiet grace and thoughtful consideration that had characterized her throughout their 8-year relationship. While the world celebrated and speculated about fairy tale romance, Catherine remained focused on the deeper significance of the commitment she was making. Not just to William as a person, but to a lifetime of service to the British people and the Commonwealth. The engagement interview, watched by millions around the world, provided the public's first real glimpse of Catherine's character under the intense spotlight that would now follow her everywhere. Rather than appearing overwhelmed by the magnitude of her new position or eager to discuss the privileges that would come with royal status, Catherine spoke thoughtfully about her sense of responsibility and her desire to use her platform to make a positive difference in people's lives. Her responses revealed someone who had given serious consideration to what royal service would require, and who approached those challenges with both humility and determination. Catherine's reaction to the stunning sapphire and diamond engagement ring, Princess Diana's former ring, demonstrated her sensitivity to the complex emotions and expectations surrounding her new role. She spoke movingly about feeling honored to wear something that had belonged to William's mother, while also acknowledging the responsibility that came with carrying forward Diana's legacy of connecting with people from all walks of life. This balance between personal sentiment and public duty would become a hallmark of Catherine's approach to royal life. The months between the engagement announcement and the wedding provided Catherine with an intensive education in royal protocol, constitutional law, and the intricate workings of the institutions she would soon serve. Rather than viewing this preparation as a burden or an imposition, Catherine approached it with the same intellectual curiosity and commitment to excellence that had characterized her university studies. She asked detailed questions about the history and purpose of various royal traditions, seeking to understand not just what she would need to do, but why these customs had developed and how they served broader purposes. Catherine's preparation for royal life extended far beyond learning protocols and procedures. She began working with speech therapists to refine her public speaking skills, studied languages to better communicate with international visitors and during overseas tours, and immersed herself in learning about the numerous charities and organizations that would benefit from royal patronage. Her approach was characteristically thorough and respectful. She wanted to be worthy of the trust that would be placed in her, rather than simply relying on her title to carry her through difficult situations. The attention surrounding the wedding preparations provided another opportunity to observe Catherine's values and priorities. While media coverage focused heavily on dress designers, venue choices, and guest lists, Catherine remained concentrated on the deeper significance of the ceremony itself. She insisted that the wedding should reflect both the solemnity of royal tradition and the joy of a personal celebration, balancing the needs of constitutional protocol with the desires of two people in love. Her input on wedding planning revealed someone who understood that every detail would be scrutinized for symbolic meaning, yet who refused to lose sight of the personal and spiritual dimensions of marriage. Catherine's handling of the intense media scrutiny during the engagement period demonstrated remarkable maturity and strategic thinking. She recognized that her every public appearance would be analyzed for clues about her personality, her relationship with William, and her fitness for royal duties. Rather than feeling paralyzed by this pressure or attempting to project a false image, Catherine simply continued being herself while becoming more thoughtful about how her natural qualities could best serve her future role. Her choice of public appearances during the engagement period was telling. Rather than seeking high-profile social events or glamorous occasions, Catherine chose to accompany William to engagements that showcased the working aspects of royal life. She visited homeless shelters, attended charity fundraising events, and participated in activities that highlighted the royal family's commitment to service and social responsibility. These choices revealed someone who understood that royal privilege was meaningful only insofar as it enabled effective service to others. Catherine's relationship with the media during this period established patterns that would characterize her entire approach to public life. She was consistently polite and professional in her interactions with photographers and reporters, while maintaining clear boundaries about her privacy and that of her family. She never sought additional attention beyond what was necessary for her official duties, nor did she appear resentful of the coverage that her position inevitably attracted. This balanced approach earned respect from media professionals and set reasonable expectations for future interactions. The wedding itself, watched by an estimated 2 billion people worldwide, showcased Catherine's character in numerous small but significant ways. Her choice to include elements that honored both royal tradition and her own family background demonstrated her understanding that successful royal service required honoring the past while remaining connected to contemporary life. The dignity with which she carried herself during the ceremony, combined with moments of genuine joy and affection, revealed someone who could fulfill formal responsibilities without sacrificing personal authenticity. Catherine's behavior immediately following the wedding provided insight into how she planned to approach her new role. Rather than taking an extended honeymoon or withdrawing from public life to adjust to her changed circumstances, she quickly began taking on official engagements and learning about the organizations she would soon patronize. Her first official appearances as the Duchess of Cambridge were characterized by the same qualities that had drawn people to her during the engagement period: genuine interest in others, thoughtful questions, and a warm but appropriately dignified demeanor. The selection of Catherine's first patronages revealed careful consideration of how she could most effectively contribute to royal service while remaining true to her own interests and values. Rather than simply accepting whatever organizations were offered to her, Catherine took time to research various charities and causes, meeting with their leadership and learning about their work before making commitments. This thorough approach demonstrated respect for both the organizations and the responsibility of royal patronage. Catherine's early official engagements showcased her natural ability to connect with people from diverse backgrounds and circumstances. Whether she was visiting inner-city schools, meeting with military families, or attending charity galas, Catherine displayed the same genuine interest in others that had characterized her throughout her life. She remembered names and details from previous meetings, asked follow-up questions that demonstrated real listening, and showed appropriate emotion when hearing about challenges or celebrating successes. The development of Catherine's public speaking abilities during this period reflected her commitment to continuous improvement and her understanding that effective communication would be crucial to her success in royal service. She worked diligently to overcome natural nervousness about addressing large audiences, focusing not on projecting confidence she didn't feel, but on communicating sincerely about causes and issues she genuinely cared about. This authenticity in her early speeches created connections with audiences that mere polish or charisma could never achieve. Catherine's approach to fashion and public appearance during her early royal period demonstrated her understanding that every choice would be scrutinized for meaning, while reflecting her determination to remain true to her own aesthetic sensibilities. She developed a style that balanced the dignity required for royal occasions with elements that made her approachable and relatable to the general public. Her choices often highlighted British designers and supported the domestic fashion industry, while her tendency to wear items multiple times contradicted stereotypes about royal extravagance. The first major test of Catherine's ability to handle crisis and controversy came through various media storms and public criticisms during her early royal period. Her response to these challenges revealed the emotional intelligence and strategic thinking that would characterize her entire approach to royal service. Rather than responding defensively or seeking to control narratives through media manipulation, Catherine focused on continuing her work and allowing her actions to speak for themselves. This mature approach gradually earned respect even from initial skeptics. Catherine's relationship with other members of the royal family during this transitional period demonstrated her ability to navigate complex personal and institutional dynamics with grace and wisdom. She showed appropriate respect for senior family members while building genuine friendships with those closer to her own age. Her interactions revealed someone who understood that successful royal service required both individual excellence and effective collaboration within the broader institution. The development of Catherine's expertise in her chosen charitable areas reflected her systematic approach to royal service and her determination to make meaningful contributions rather than merely lending her name to worthy causes. She invested significant time in education about early childhood development, mental health awareness, and addiction recovery, building knowledge that enabled her to speak credibly and advocate effectively for these important issues. Her growing expertise demonstrated that she viewed royal patronage as requiring real commitment and ongoing learning. Catherine's handling of personal challenges and family responsibilities during this period revealed the strength of character that had attracted William's attention and admiration. She managed to maintain close relationships with her own family while adapting to the demands of royal life, never allowing success or status to change her fundamental loyalties and values. Her approach to balancing personal and public responsibilities provided a model for integrating royal duty with human authenticity. The international attention that Catherine received during this period created opportunities to observe how she would represent Britain and the Commonwealth on the global stage. Her early international appearances revealed someone who could project dignity and grace while remaining genuinely interested in learning about other cultures and connecting with people regardless of language barriers or cultural differences. These qualities suggested that she would be an effective ambassador for British values and interests around the world. Catherine's evolution during her early royal period demonstrated that the qualities that had initially attracted public attention, her warmth, authenticity, and genuine concern for others, were not superficial characteristics that would fade under pressure, but fundamental aspects of her character that would actually strengthen through experience and challenge. The young woman who had once quietly helped university flatmates with their problems was developing into someone capable of using royal privilege to address significant social challenges while maintaining the humility and grace that made her genuinely beloved by people from all walks of life. The foundation that Catherine built during these crucial early years of royal service would prove essential as she faced increasing responsibilities and public expectations. Her commitment to thorough preparation, her determination to earn respect through actions rather than relying on title or position, and her ability to remain authentically herself while adapting to institutional requirements created a platform for decades of effective royal service that would exceed even the most optimistic early predictions about her potential contributions to the monarchy and British society. The announcement of Catherine's first pregnancy in December 2012 brought a new dimension to her royal role, but also revealed how her fundamental character would shape her approach to one of the most personal, yet public aspects of royal life. Rather than retreating from public duties or using her condition as an excuse to reduce her commitments, Catherine continued working until late in her pregnancy, demonstrating the same dedication to service that had characterized her early royal period, while also showing the world how royal motherhood could be both dignified and relatable. Catherine's experience with severe morning sickness, which required hospitalization, provided an unexpected opportunity to observe how she would handle personal vulnerability under intense public scrutiny. Instead of trying to hide her condition or minimize its impact, Catherine acknowledged the challenges she faced while expressing gratitude for the medical care she received. Her openness about struggling with pregnancy complications helped normalize conversations about maternal health challenges and showed other women facing similar difficulties that they were not alone in their experiences. The months leading up to Prince George's birth showcased Catherine's thoughtful approach to preparing for royal motherhood. She studied child development, consulted with experts about early childhood education, and carefully considered how to balance the public's legitimate interest in the future heir with her child's need for as normal an upbringing as possible. Her preparation went far beyond choosing nursery decorations or baby clothes. She was preparing to raise a future king while ensuring he experienced the warmth and stability that every child deserves. Catherine's decision to appear publicly with her newborn son just hours after giving birth surprised many observers who expected royal mothers to remain secluded during recovery. Her willingness to share this moment with the world, despite being exhausted and emotional, demonstrated her understanding that certain aspects of royal motherhood belonged not just to her and William, but to the nation and Commonwealth. Yet her demeanor during this appearance, tired but radiant, protective yet gracious, showed how she could fulfill public expectations while maintaining her authenticity as a new mother. The early months of George's life revealed Catherine's determination to be as hands-on a mother as possible, despite the unique circumstances of raising a future king. She insisted on doing night feedings herself, changed diapers, and maintained normal routines that allowed her to bond with her son while gradually resuming official duties. Her approach challenged stereotypes about royal parenting and demonstrated that privilege did not mean delegating all childcare responsibilities to staff members. Catherine's return to public duties after George's birth showcased her ability to integrate motherhood with royal service in ways that enhanced rather than diminished her effectiveness in both roles. She brought new authenticity to engagements with families and children, drawing on her recent experiences to connect more deeply with parents facing various challenges. Her questions about child welfare programs and educational initiatives reflected not just professional interest, but personal investment in ensuring that all children had opportunities to thrive. The birth of Princess Charlotte in May 2015 brought additional complexity to Catherine's balancing act between public service and private family life. Her handling of pregnancy while caring for a toddler and maintaining royal duties demonstrated remarkable organizational skills and personal resilience. She managed to keep George's routine stable while preparing for Charlotte's arrival, showing consideration for both her existing child's needs and the new baby's well-being. Catherine's approach to raising her children in the public eye reflected careful thought about how to honor their royal heritage while protecting their childhood innocence. She established clear boundaries about media access while allowing occasional glimpses that satisfied public interest without exploiting her children's natural charm. Her decisions about when and how to include George and Charlotte in official events showed sensitivity to their developmental needs and comfort levels. The expansion of Catherine's charitable work during her early motherhood years revealed how personal experience could deepen her commitment to public service. Her patronage of organizations focused on children's mental health, early childhood development, and family support reflected not just professional obligation, but genuine passion, informed by her own experiences as a mother. She brought new insights to these causes that made her advocacy more effective and credible. Catherine's handling of the challenges that came with raising young children while fulfilling royal duties provided inspiration to working mothers throughout Britain and beyond. She was sometimes seen arriving at engagements with slight imperfections in her appearance or showing signs of the exhaustion that comes with sleepless nights, but rather than apologizing for these human realities, she normalized the experience of trying to excel professionally while caring for young children. The birth of Prince Louis in April 2018 completed Catherine's family, while adding another layer to her complex juggling of responsibilities. Her ability to maintain equilibrium while caring for 3 young children and continuing her royal duties impressed observers who understood the practical challenges involved. She developed systems and routines that allowed her to be present for important family moments while meeting her obligations to the causes and organizations that depended on royal support. Catherine's evolution as a public speaker during this period reflected how motherhood had deepened her understanding of many social issues, while strengthening her ability to communicate authentically about challenges facing families and children. Her speeches about mental health, addiction, and early childhood development carried new weight because audiences recognized that she spoke not just as a royal patron, but as a mother who genuinely cared about these issues and their impact on real families. The development of Catherine's signature initiatives during her early motherhood years demonstrated how personal experience could inform effective public service. Her work on early years development, launched after extensive research and consultation with experts, reflected both professional diligence and maternal insight. She understood from personal experience how crucial the first 5 years of life were for children's future development, and she used her platform to ensure that policymakers and the public shared this understanding. Catherine's approach to international travel and official tours while managing young children revealed her commitment to fulfilling all aspects of royal service while prioritizing her family's needs. She carefully planned overseas engagements to minimize time away from her children, often bringing them on appropriate trips or scheduling tours during school holidays. When separation was necessary, she maintained communication with her children and ensured their routines remained stable in her absence. The media attention surrounding Catherine's children provided ongoing tests of her ability to protect their privacy while acknowledging public interest in the royal family's next generation. Her responses to both positive and negative coverage demonstrated consistent principles: gratitude for genuine goodwill toward her family, clear boundaries about inappropriate intrusion, and focus on her children's well-being above all other considerations. She never used her children's popularity to enhance her own public standing, instead working to ensure their exposure served positive purposes. Catherine's relationships with other royal mothers, including those who had faced similar challenges in previous generations, reflected her respect for experience and wisdom while maintaining confidence in her own parenting choices. She sought advice when appropriate while making decisions based on her own family's specific needs and circumstances. This balance between humility and independence characterized her approach to many aspects of royal life. The practical aspects of Catherine's daily life during her children's early years revealed the same organizational skills and attention to detail that characterized all her endeavors. She managed complex schedules that coordinated official engagements with school runs, family meals with state functions, and personal time with public obligations. Her ability to maintain these multiple priorities without appearing overwhelmed or compromising any of them demonstrated exceptional time management and personal discipline. Catherine's influence on modernizing certain aspects of royal parenting became evident through small but significant changes in how the royal family approached children's public appearances and media access. Her insistence on age-appropriate activities, normal childhood experiences, and protection from excessive scrutiny helped establish new precedents that balanced public interest with children's welfare. These changes reflected her understanding that effective royal service required adapting traditions to contemporary needs and values. The support system that Catherine built around her growing family reflected her values and practical wisdom. She maintained close relationships with her own family while developing new friendships with other parents who could provide both personal support and perspective on the unique challenges of royal parenting. Her choices about household staff, educational decisions, and family activities all reflected careful consideration of what would best serve her children's development while meeting royal expectations. Catherine's handling of the inevitable challenges and setbacks that come with raising children in the public eye demonstrated the emotional intelligence and resilience that had characterized her throughout her royal journey. Whether dealing with normal childhood difficulties or managing situations complicated by media attention, she maintained focus on her children's well-being while continuing to fulfill her public responsibilities effectively. Her ability to compartmentalize challenges while maintaining overall balance impressed both critics and supporters. The integration of Catherine's maternal experiences with her charitable work created new opportunities for meaningful impact on issues affecting families throughout the United Kingdom and Commonwealth. Her ability to speak credibly about the challenges facing parents, the importance of early childhood development, and the need for family support services reflected genuine understanding rather than theoretical knowledge. This authenticity made her advocacy more effective and helped build broader support for the causes she championed. As Catherine's children grew and her experience as a royal mother deepened, observers began to recognize that her approach to balancing family life with public service was creating a new model for royal motherhood that honored both traditional expectations and contemporary realities. She had proven that it was possible to be deeply devoted to one's children while serving the broader public effectively, that authenticity and dignity were not mutually exclusive, and that personal experience could enhance, rather than detract, from professional effectiveness in royal service. The year 2020 brought unprecedented challenges that would test Catherine's character and capabilities in ways that no amount of royal training could have fully prepared her for. As the COVID-19 pandemic swept across Britain and the world, Catherine found herself needing to adapt quickly to new ways of serving the public while managing her own family's needs during lockdown. Her response to these extraordinary circumstances revealed the depth of her commitment to service and her ability to find meaningful ways to support people during their darkest hours. When the initial lockdown began in March 2020, Catherine immediately recognized that traditional royal engagements would be impossible, but she refused to let physical restrictions limit her ability to serve. Within days, she was participating in video calls with frontline healthcare workers, speaking with teachers struggling to educate children remotely, and connecting with families facing isolation and hardship. Her willingness to embrace new technology and adapt her communication style to virtual platforms demonstrated both flexibility and determination to maintain connections with the people and causes she served. Catherine's approach to homeschooling her own children during lockdown provided a relatable example for millions of parents suddenly facing similar challenges. Rather than hiding behind royal privilege or relying entirely on private tutors, Catherine openly acknowledged the difficulties of managing her children's education while continuing her royal duties from home. Her honest discussions about the challenges of keeping children motivated and engaged resonated with parents across Britain who were struggling with the same issues. The pandemic highlighted Catherine's ability to identify emerging needs and respond with both immediate action and long-term strategic thinking. She quickly recognized that mental health challenges would intensify during lockdown, particularly for children and families already facing difficulties. Her response included immediate support for crisis helplines and counseling services, combined with longer-term initiatives to address the mental health crisis that would persist long after the immediate health emergency had passed. Catherine's collaboration with her husband William during the pandemic showcased their partnership in both personal and professional contexts. Together, they launched initiatives to support NHS workers, visited vaccine centers, and provided encouragement to communities struggling with loss and isolation. Catherine's contributions to these joint efforts revealed her ability to work as an equal partner while bringing her own unique strengths and perspectives to their shared royal duties. The development of Catherine's virtual engagement skills during this period demonstrated her commitment to continuous learning and adaptation. She invested significant time in mastering video technology, learning how to connect effectively with people through screens, and developing new ways to convey empathy and support without physical presence. Her success in making these virtual interactions feel personal and meaningful impressed both participants and observers who had been skeptical about the effectiveness of remote royal engagements. Catherine's focus on early childhood development took on new urgency during the pandemic as research revealed the significant impact that lockdowns and school closures were having on young children's development. She used her platform to advocate for policies that would support families and mitigate the educational and emotional damage caused by isolation. Her ability to speak knowledgeably about child development research while connecting it to real family experiences made her advocacy particularly effective during policy discussions. The challenges faced by frontline workers during the pandemic provided Catherine with opportunities to demonstrate her genuine appreciation for essential services and her understanding of the sacrifices being made by ordinary people. Her interactions with NHS staff, teachers, delivery workers, and others keeping society functioning revealed her ability to express gratitude authentically while acknowledging the real hardships these workers were experiencing. Her support went beyond ceremonial recognition to include practical assistance and long-term advocacy for better working conditions and support systems. Catherine's handling of her own family's health during the pandemic, including William's bout with COVID-19, demonstrated her ability to manage personal crises while continuing to serve the public effectively. She maintained appropriate privacy about family health matters while ensuring that her public duties continued uninterrupted. Her ability to compartmentalize personal stress while remaining fully present for official responsibilities revealed remarkable emotional strength and professional discipline. The launch of Catherine's major early years initiative during the pandemic represented a significant milestone in her development as a senior royal, with her own distinct area of expertise and influence. The comprehensive research and consultation that informed this initiative demonstrated her commitment to evidence-based advocacy and her understanding that royal patronage was most effective when grounded in solid research and practical solutions. Her ability to maintain focus on long-term social issues while responding to immediate crisis needs showed sophisticated strategic thinking. Catherine's evolution as a public speaker during this period reflected how the pandemic had deepened her understanding of social issues while strengthening her confidence in addressing complex policy matters. Her speeches about mental health, early childhood development, and community resilience carried new authority because audiences recognized that she had lived through the same challenges they faced while maintaining her commitment to serving others. This shared experience created deeper connections with audiences and enhanced the impact of her advocacy. The international attention that Catherine received during the pandemic revealed how her approach to crisis leadership was being noticed and appreciated beyond British borders. Her combination of personal authenticity with professional competence, her focus on practical solutions rather than symbolic gestures, and her ability to inspire hope while acknowledging real hardships created a model of royal service that impressed observers worldwide. This international recognition enhanced her effectiveness as a representative of British values and interests. Catherine's work with charitable organizations during the pandemic showcased her understanding of how royal patronage could be most helpful during times of crisis. Rather than simply lending her name to fundraising appeals, she invested time in understanding how different organizations were adapting their services to meet pandemic-related needs. Her targeted support helped ensure that crucial services continued operating while evolving to meet changing circumstances. The development of Catherine's expertise in trauma-informed approaches to child welfare during this period reflected her commitment to continuous learning and her recognition that the pandemic would have lasting effects on children's mental health and development. She worked with leading experts to understand how adverse childhood experiences during the pandemic could be addressed through early intervention and family support. This expertise enhanced her credibility when advocating for increased investment in children's services and mental health support. Catherine's collaboration with other members of the royal family during the pandemic demonstrated her ability to work effectively within the broader institution while maintaining her own distinct identity in areas of focus. She supported family-wide initiatives while continuing to develop her own projects, showing how individual royal family members could complement each other's work rather than competing for attention or resources. Her collaborative approach strengthened both her own effectiveness and that of the monarchy as a whole. The personal growth that Catherine experienced during the pandemic was evident in her increased confidence when addressing policymakers, and her willingness to take stronger positions on issues within her areas of expertise. While maintaining appropriate constitutional boundaries, she became more vocal about the need for investment in early childhood services, mental health support, and family welfare programs. This evolution reflected both growing expertise and deepening conviction about the importance of her chosen causes. Catherine's handling of the various challenges and controversies that arose during the pandemic period revealed her maturity and strategic thinking. Whether responding to criticism of royal activities during lockdown, addressing questions about privilege and inequality, or managing family tensions that became public during this stressful period, Catherine maintained focus on her core responsibilities while addressing legitimate concerns with grace and transparency. The innovation that Catherine brought to royal engagement during the pandemic created lasting changes in how the monarchy connects with the public. Her successful use of virtual platforms, her development of new ways to support charitable organizations remotely, and her creation of pandemic-specific initiatives demonstrated that royal service could evolve to meet changing circumstances while maintaining its essential character and effectiveness. Catherine's leadership during the mental health crisis that accompanied the pandemic showcased her ability to address sensitive issues with both personal warmth and professional competence. Her discussions about anxiety, depression, and trauma reflected genuine understanding of these challenges while maintaining appropriate boundaries about her own experiences. Her advocacy helped reduce stigma around mental health issues while promoting practical solutions and support services. The recognition that Catherine received for her pandemic service from various organizations and institutions reflected widespread appreciation for her contributions during an extraordinarily difficult period. However, her response to these honors revealed her characteristic humility and her focus on the collective effort rather than individual recognition. She consistently used recognition opportunities to highlight the work of others, and to advocate for continued support for the causes and communities she served. As the acute phase of the pandemic began to ease, Catherine's focus on recovery and rebuilding demonstrated her understanding that crisis leadership requires not just immediate response, but also long-term vision and sustained commitment. Her initiatives to address the lasting effects of pandemic trauma, educational disruption, and social isolation showed strategic thinking about how royal service could contribute to national recovery while building resilience for future challenges. The transformation of Catherine's role during the pandemic period established her as a senior royal with distinct expertise and independent influence while strengthening her partnership with William and her integration within the broader royal family. The challenges of 2020 and beyond had tested every aspect of her character and capabilities, revealing strengths that exceeded even optimistic early assessments of her potential contributions to royal service and British society. The death of Queen Elizabeth II in September 2022 marked a profound transformation in Catherine's role and responsibilities, elevating her to Princess of Wales while bringing new weight to her position within the royal hierarchy. Yet her response to this momentous change revealed the same qualities that had characterized her throughout her royal journey: a deep sense of duty tempered by genuine humility, and a commitment to earning respect through service, rather than simply accepting it as a birthright. Catherine's immediate response to becoming Princess of Wales demonstrated her understanding of both the honor and the responsibility that came with inheriting Diana's former title. Rather than focusing on the prestige or public attention that the new role would bring, Catherine spoke thoughtfully about her desire to honor the legacy of service associated with the title, while bringing her own perspective and priorities to the role. Her acknowledgement of Diana's enduring impact, combined with her determination to forge her own path, struck exactly the right tone for a transition that many observers had wondered how she would handle. The period of mourning following the Queen's death provided Catherine with opportunities to demonstrate the grace and dignity that had become hallmarks of her public presence. Her support for her husband during this difficult personal period, her appropriate interactions with world leaders and dignitaries who came to pay their respects, and her visible comfort in taking on additional responsibilities showed how fully she had grown into her role as a senior member of the royal family. Yet throughout these formal occasions, she maintained the warmth and authenticity that made her genuinely beloved by the British public. Catherine's approach to the coronation of King Charles III reflected her understanding of how significant royal occasions could showcase both traditional ceremony and contemporary relevance. Her participation in the planning and execution of coronation events revealed someone who respected the historical importance of royal ritual while ensuring that ceremonies connected meaningfully with modern audiences. Her ability to balance reverence for tradition with accessibility to diverse communities demonstrated the sophisticated understanding of royal service that she had developed over more than a decade in the public eye. The evolution of Catherine's charitable work following her elevation to Princess of Wales showed how increased seniority could enhance rather than constrain her ability to make meaningful contributions to important causes. Her early years' initiatives gained new prominence and influence, while her mental health advocacy reached broader audiences and carried greater weight in policy discussions. Her ability to use increased platform and authority effectively while maintaining the personal touch that made her advocacy so credible impressed both supporters and former skeptics. Catherine's handling of the increased media attention and public expectations that came with her new title revealed the confidence and strategic thinking she had developed through years of experience in the public eye. She neither sought additional publicity nor appeared overwhelmed by the intensified focus on her activities and choices. Instead, she continued focusing on substantive work while allowing her actions and results to speak for themselves. This measured approach helped establish reasonable expectations for her tenure as Princess of Wales while maintaining the mystery and dignity that effective royal service requires. The development of Catherine's international role following her elevation provided opportunities to observe how she would represent Britain and the Commonwealth on the global stage with enhanced authority and visibility. Her interactions with world leaders, her participation in state visits and official tours, and her representation of British interests abroad revealed someone who could project dignity and competence while remaining genuinely interested in other cultures and perspectives. Her success in these diplomatic contexts enhanced Britain's soft power while advancing her own charitable and policy objectives. Catherine's integration of her roles as mother, wife, and Princess of Wales during this period demonstrated remarkable organizational skills and emotional intelligence. She managed to support her husband through his transition to Prince of Wales and heir to the throne, maintain stability for her children during a period of significant change, and take on substantially increased royal duties without appearing overwhelmed or compromising any of these responsibilities. Her ability to excel in multiple demanding roles simultaneously provided inspiration to women throughout Britain and beyond who were managing their own complex balancing acts. The development of Catherine's signature initiatives during her early tenure as Princess of Wales showed how her years of preparation and experience were culminating in significant policy influence and social impact. Her early years' work began influencing government policy and funding priorities, while her mental health advocacy helped shape national conversations about wellness and support services. Her ability to translate royal platform into measurable social change demonstrated the potential for effective royal service in contemporary society. Catherine's response to various challenges and controversies during this period revealed the wisdom and resilience she had developed through more than a decade of royal service. Whether addressing criticism of royal expenditures during difficult economic times, managing family tensions that occasionally became public, or responding to questions about the relevance of monarchy in modern society, Catherine maintained focus on her core mission of service while addressing legitimate concerns with transparency and grace. The evolution of Catherine's public speaking and advocacy skills during this period reflected both growing expertise and deepening passion for her chosen causes. Her speeches about early childhood development carried the authority of someone who had invested years in understanding the research and building relationships with leading experts. Her discussions of mental health issues reflected both professional knowledge and personal insight that made her advocacy particularly compelling and effective. Catherine's collaboration with other members of the royal family during this transitional period demonstrated her ability to work effectively within institutional hierarchies while maintaining her own distinct identity and areas of focus. Her support for King Charles's initiatives, combined with continued development of her own projects, showed how senior royals could complement each other's work while avoiding duplication or competition. Her relationship with other royal family members reflected mutual respect and shared commitment to institutional success. The international recognition that Catherine received during her early tenure as Princess of Wales reflected worldwide appreciation for her approach to royal service and her effectiveness in representing British values and interests. Her inclusion in various international forums and discussions about global challenges enhanced her ability to advance British foreign policy objectives while building support for her charitable and policy initiatives. This international influence created new opportunities for meaningful impact on issues she cared about most deeply. Catherine's handling of personal challenges during this period, including health concerns affecting family members and the normal stresses of raising teenagers while maintaining demanding public schedules, revealed the emotional strength and practical wisdom that had always characterized her approach to difficult situations. Her ability to maintain perspective, seek appropriate support, and continue serving effectively during personal difficulties provided examples of resilience that inspired others facing their own challenges. The innovation that Catherine brought to traditional royal roles during this period created lasting changes in how the monarchy engages with contemporary social issues and connects with diverse communities. Her use of research-based advocacy, her integration of personal experience with professional expertise, and her ability to build coalitions around shared objectives demonstrated new models for effective royal service that other family members and future generations could adapt and build upon. Catherine's influence on modernizing certain aspects of royal protocol and tradition during this period reflected her understanding that effective institutions must evolve to remain relevant while preserving their essential character and values. Her approaches to media relations, public engagement, and charitable work created new precedents that balanced accessibility with dignity, innovation with tradition, and personal authenticity with institutional responsibility. The legacy that Catherine began building during her early years as Princess of Wales reflected the culmination of qualities and commitments that had characterized her entire royal journey. Her combination of genuine humility with quiet confidence, her integration of personal experience with professional expertise, and her ability to inspire others while maintaining realistic expectations about what any individual could accomplish created a model of royal service that honored the past while meeting contemporary needs and challenges. As Catherine continued to grow into her role as Princess of Wales, observers recognized that her approach to royal service was creating lasting changes not just in how individual royals fulfilled their duties, but in how the monarchy as an institution could remain relevant and effective in serving modern society. Her journey from middle-class family background to senior royal position had demonstrated that authentic service, sustained commitment, and genuine care for others could transcend social boundaries and create meaningful connections across all segments of society. The young woman who had once quietly helped university friends with their problems had evolved into someone capable of influencing national policy and international discussions while maintaining the same fundamental qualities of empathy, humility, and dedication to others' well-being that had first attracted public attention and admiration. Her story continued to unfold as an example of how individual character, properly developed and consistently applied, could serve both personal fulfillment and broader social good in ways that exceeded even the most optimistic early predictions about her potential contributions to royal service and British society. Catherine's journey as Princess of Wales was proving that authentic leadership required not the abandonment of personal qualities in favor of institutional demands, but rather the thoughtful integration of individual strengths with collective responsibilities in service of goals larger than any single person could achieve alone. Her continuing evolution demonstrated that the most effective royal service came not from trying to fit predetermined molds, but from bringing genuine personal qualities to traditional roles in ways that honored both individual authenticity and institutional effectiveness.